My mental image of myself has been male since I was 4 years old. And I used to go to bed at night when I was like 6 or 7 and pray to God to make me turn into a boy when I woke up. And, um, I have kidney problems. And the doctors were, it's actually pretty funny in retrospect looking back at it, because I had no understanding of anatomy or surgical procedures or anything like that. But they thought they were going to have to do surgery on my urinary tract system. And so I figured it was going to be, if it was all going to be in the same place and whatever's down here makes you a boy, maybe they'll accidentally forget what they're doing and I'll be a boy when I wake up from surgery. But yeah. Not the same procedure at all, but to a 10-year-old it's feasible. My name is Kayla Darcy, but I go by Badger amongst my friends, and some of my family know about it, but I identify as genderqueer, and I use neutral pronouns like they, them, their. I feel like just to be human in general is to have the full capacity to be feminine and masculine in one space. And I think it's sort of sad that we're socialized away from some of those leanings. It's kind of like we're all expected to be box shaped and our ends are just shaved off so we fit into boxes. And I definitely learned some of the masculine traits from my dad, but since he was, whenever we were stationed overseas or stuff, he was away an awful lot. And so there were a lot of times where I didn't see him. Also, my parents were separated a few times before they got divorced when I was 18. At a young age, I was when my parents weren't around, I learned a lot of what I perceived of gender roles from like Disney movies. Which is really weird looking back on it now, and like there are princesses and princes and you gotta slay dragons and all this stuff for your true love, and me, I just naturally identified as somebody who gets to kick a dragon's ass. I mean, my family was always pretty cool about letting me have that sort of presentation, and they're just like, okay, well, you're just not a pink sort of girl. And every now and then they'd wrestle me into a dress, kicking and screaming, and I wasn't allowed to cut my hair short like I wanted to. So in terms of presentation, I never felt particularly boxed in that way. But it's just more I think when I started getting older, like when I hit puberty, is when I really started feeling that. When there was expectations of, there were more sexual expectations of, how boys and girls are supposed to act towards each other and whatnot, and ways you're supposed to present yourself. And, part of that I was uncomfortable with because I like women, and I didn't know it then. Like, I didn't finally come to terms with it until I was like 18, 19 years old. And then, part of that was just, I've got boobs and a butt and I have to figure out makeup and hips, and I'm supposed to be alluring with this body, and I'm supposed to swing my hips when I walk, and I'm supposed to style my hair, and it was just really, really, it was like learning a foreign language. It really was. I was just like, this isn't what feels comfortable or natural to me. I don't usually like having my photograph taken because seeing photographs of myself is jarring for me. That's what my face looks like. I have those big round cheeks and these slender arms and a big old booty and some boobs, and it's not horribly upsetting for me. It's just kind of like, that's really weird. I wasn't expecting that, and you'd think I'd get used to it after a while, but I still go into a fitting room to try on a pair of pants, and I'm just like, that's me? Oh God, I gotta get dressed as fast as I can. It wasn't until I was 22 that I encountered the concept of like non-binary gender identities outside of, transgendered people. Like, I thought even if you weren't a traditional gender identity, you still had to either be male or female. Like, you could hop between the two if you wanted, but there was nothing in between or outside of it. I think part of my identity as genderqueer is just because I don't philosophically jive with the idea of the binary. I think it's oppressive, and I think it keeps people from being their whole selves, and it keeps them from feeling comfortable with themselves a lot of the time. And some people are completely comfortable in the binary, and that's cool too. I'm at a point now where I might need to look into testosterone, but I still don't know how to breach that topic with my family. One of the big issues is that, I'm Christian, and, most of my family are Christian as well, and the big question that my sister raises about it is just like, well, why do you want to change your body? That's the one God gave you. And I think my family's also just concerned for me. They do love me. They're very supportive. But they're not queer. They don't really understand this world. I think gender fluidity and gender queerness, they're pretty difficult things to understand, actually, just because I'm still trying to understand them myself. And I think it's important to there's just this fundamental decision you have to make within yourself to be okay with not understanding everything, and to accept that ideas evolve and that your opinion is going to evolve, and that things that you don't understand are not necessarily a threat to you. You still have to be open and curious enough about other people to just not instantly react with revulsion or disgust or fear or violence when you encounter something that's foreign or strange to you.